everybody, welcome back to Star Speed. I'm sorry I haven't seen you all in a while, but basically, we've been doing all these skits and stuff, and YTPs, shorts, and all that, in the build-up for this video. So before I, get into this, can you like and subscribe if you haven't already, please? I think about 45% of you aren't subscribed, at the moment, but you know, it is what it is. If you don't subscribe, then you don't subscribe. You're missing out on our content. So, yeah. But anyway, I have completely worked my socks off since the 21st of May to bring you this, which is my version of Episode 8, Star Wars Episode 8. And, I'm going to read through it. I'm going to read through it with you today. So, before we get started again, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Alex. I know you're editing this video and you're probably watching this footage over right now, but thank you so much. So, massive shout out to Alex. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to put something on the screen, I don't know, like Starspeed logo or something. And yeah, let's get into this. It's going to be a kind of video where you put some headphones in, and if you're watching on your phone, put it in your pocket, or if you're on the computer or television, you just put some headphones in and do something else whilst watching this. So it's going to be kind of audiobook in a way. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to get straight into this. And yeah, so basically we're going to go from the first page to the last page. Hopefully you'll be seeing the script on screen right now, so you can read along with me if you want. But yeah, so Star Wars Episode 8 by Lewis, based on characters created by George Lucas, and then you have the date down there that I started writing, 21st of May 2020. So, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Episode 8, Shadows of the Sith. Starkiller Base has erupted. The First Order is left shattered and defeated. Meanwhile, on the desolate planet of Dakar, the Resistance celebrates their first major victory against this evil oppression. Concurrently, Rey, the final hope of the Jedi, has found Luke Skywalker and his strong will to bring him back to the conquering Resistance. However, the mighty First Order gathers and regains its strength, determined to inflict revenge on the pitiful Resistance. Exterior, space. A rich tapestry of stars, reaching beyond all we know. Within an instant, a First Order dreadnought comes flashing towards us, jumping out of light speed. Followed closely behind it, emerging from hyperspace, are dozens of Resurgent-class Star Destroyers. Pan to the right to see the green-looking planet of Dakar. The First Order troop transports and the Night Buzzard rush to the surface. Exterior, Dakar, day. A Resistance trooper stands on a lookout tower, binoculars in hand, gaping at the sheer mass of the First Order ships racing towards him. The Resistance trooper lowers his binoculars as we focus in on his frightened eyes looking towards the sky. Resistance Trooper 1. Stormtroopers. Interior, Resistance base, corridor, day. Panic. Resistance troopers are hearing a blasting siren coming from the speakers around the base. Amidst all the chaos, General Leia Organa is quickly walking down one of the many corridors in the Resistance base. As soon as Leia spots a familiar face, she rushes over to them and starts talking to Lieutenant Connix. Leia: "What is going on, Lieutenant?" Lieutenant Connix: "We are being ambushed, General, by the..." Leia: "First Order." Interior, the Night Buzzard, day. The Knights of Ren are preparing for an all-out war as they approach the surface of the planet. Blasters are being primed, weapons being prepared, and an overall menacing feel to the scene. Aplek Ren walks menacingly over to a seated Vikral Ren and places a hand firmly on his shoulder. Aplek: "Brother, we are here." Exterior, Dakar, day. A First Order troop transport touches down. A wide platform descends, revealing around 20 First Order stormtroopers in polished white armour. Instantly springing into action, the stormtroopers desert their transport and begin instantly wreaking havoc upon the Resistance base as they fire upon anything that will move, including a familiar droid named PZ-4CO. Interior, Resistance base, door, day. Snap Wexley is standing at a door in the Resistance base, looking in horror upon the massacre that is occurring outside. The Knights of Ren have departed the Night Buzzard and are slaughtering any Resistance members in their path as they approach the base. A group of surviving Resistance soldiers have given up hope on fending off the First Order and dash towards the doorway that Snap Wexley is standing in. He leaps them through and presses a button so that the door slides shut after they have passed. Interior, Resistance base, corridor, day. Poe Dameron, in his orange jumpsuit, fights his way through the crowded corridors to find Leia. He eventually catches sight of her over the crowd and makes his way towards the General. Poe. General. Leia. Not now, Poe. Poe. No, listen. A loud rumble shakes the corridor, causing dust to fly from the ceiling. Poe is startled. Exterior, Dakar, day. The First Order is blowing up the remaining Resistance light fighters, including Poe's X-Wing. The Knights of Ren march towards the Resistance base, cutting down one last Resistance soldier before entering. Interior, Resistance base, corridor, day. The door that Snap Wexley was holding just moments ago is cut down and falls to the floor as 6 ominous figures enter, letting the daylight spill into the base. Leia and Poe are startled and look over to the corridor that the Knights have just entered. Poe. Run! The Knights of Ren cut down multiple Resistance soldiers in the corridor and then stand aside to let troopers enter the tight space. Interior, Resistance base, ICU, day. Finn wakes up as if from a bad dream. He looks around, confused about his surroundings. He gets up from off the pod. He is laying in and stands, nearly falling over. He makes his way over to the door of the ICU room and is met with a horrific sight. There is blaster fire as the First Order stormtroopers are raiding the corridor right in front of his very eyes. A stormtrooper spots and identifies Finn. Stormtrooper. There! It's the traitor! Finn realises the reality of this situation and immediately presses the button to slide the door shut. It slams in the face of 3 stormtroopers. Finn runs over to a medical table, desperately trying to find a weapon of any sort. It is too late. The stormtroopers open the door and are running in, blasters aimed at Finn. Finn. Hey, guys, I know what this looks like, but Stormtrooper 2. Drop your weapon! Finn looks at his hand to see nothing is there. I'm not holding a weapon. Stormtrooper. Turn around with your hands in the air, traitor. Finn. Sure. Finn begins to slowly turn around and faces the table as the stormtroopers move in to arrest him. Finn grabs a needle with a blue fluid inside and suddenly spins around and places it right into one of the stormtroopers' neck. As the stormtrooper is screaming, Finn knees him in the stomach and grabs his blaster. He then fires at the remaining 2 troopers, killing both of them instantly. We see the pain in Finn's eyes as he realises what he's done. He doesn't have any time to waste and runs out the ICU room. Exterior, Dakar, day. Kylo Ren's shuttle touches down on the surface. The ominous figure of a monster in a mask walks calmly past the destruction, all the fire and all that. Just imagine, guys. Just imagine that. So, interior, Resistance base, briefing room, day. The First Order's forces enter the briefing room and begin to fire upon the Resistance members. They are instantly met with counterfire, however. The Resistance is unsuccessful and is backed out of the room. Interior, Resistance base, corridor, day. Finn races through the empty corridors of the base. He steps over multiple bodies, of some whom he knew and others he didn't. He spots an occasional stormtrooper and now and then, without hesitation, blasts them. We see him flinch every time he fires his blaster to kill. Finn finally spots the Resistance members, including General Leia Organa and Admiral Akbar. Finn? Finn nods, in recognition, but only for a brief moment, as right behind him, coming down the corridor, are a dozen stormtroopers, led by the Knights of Ren. Finn is startled by the blaster bolts heading in his direction, and instantly turns around to return fire. He soon realises there is no use, and retreats towards Leia and the remaining Resistance. C-3PO turns down the corridor. He has never seen so much brutality. Oh my! I have never seen such brutality. I'm not doing the C-3PO voice. That's not doing that. The whole script. I'm not doing that. Okay. Cardo Ren opens fire on the remaining Resistance members, killing many instantly. Admiral Akbar glimpses and foresees Leia's Organa's death and immediately jumps in front of her, shielding her from the incoming blast. Leia is horrified and looks down at the dead Mon Calamari at her feet. Poe Dameron sees that Leia is stunned, and before entering the door behind him, grabs her on the shoulder. Leia. Leia turns slowly, tears swelling in her eyes. She has just lost a friend that she has known for ages. We have to go. Come on. Leia is reluctant. Please. Leia reluctantly follows Poe through the blast door. It shuts behind them, but not before Leia looks back and sees the ominous figure of Kylo Ren walking towards the door. She keeps moving. Interior. Resistance base. Corridor. Day. First Order stormtroopers instantly rush to destroy the blast door that is between them and the rest of the Resistance. Stop. There is no point. There are over 50 doors between us and them. General Hux enters the corridor, closely followed behind by 2 stormtroopers. No, Ren is delusional. Carry on cutting. The stormtroopers obey and continue to cut. General Hux walks over to Kylo Ren. He sees the dead Admiral Akbar on the floor and kicks him to the side. Now, Ren, don't get ahead of yourself. General Hux, you are wasting your... What do you suppose? We wait them out? Are you insane? A First Order officer has entered the corridor. Officer. Sir, if I may intrude. Supreme Leader Snoke wishes to speak with you. Kylo Ren turns his head slowly. He hasn't spoken to Snoke since the destruction of Starkiller Base. Good. I'll take you to my shuttle. Kylo Ren walks aggressively past Hux and past the officer. Officer. No, sir. He would like to speak with you in person. Kylo Ren is shocked. He slowly turns his head in surprise. Just a quick reminder, guys. I don't think there's going to be any cuts in this, so I'm reading through completely, so please don't expect perfection from this video. I'm going to take, like, a quick break every now and then to drink, like, a glass of water or something. It'll only be about 30 seconds, but yeah, just wanted to warn you so you don't get upset when I do. And, yeah. Okay, so, exterior, Octo Island. So this is the island that Rey was on at the end of The Force Awakens. So, Rey holds out the once-forgotten lightsaber to Luke Skywalker. He stares back at her, bewildered and confused. Rey inches closer, not only determined to return the saber, but to bring the man she once thought for many years was a myth back to the Resistance. She hands Luke the saber, and he stares at it, mystified, almost as if he is reunited with an old friend. The thought passes. He hands Rey back the saber. Rey, I know why you're here. I will never train another Jedi. He storms past her. Rey cannot be more confused. She looks past where Luke was just standing to see the tip of a tall structure. She ignores this for the time being, though, and goes to follow Luke. Interior, Octo Island, Luke's cave. Luke walks into a cave on the side of the island. It is quite obviously lived in. Annoyingly to Luke, Rey follows him. Master Skywalker, with all due respect, I didn't come here for your teachings. I came here for... Luke turns around surprised. Skywalker. Nobody has called me that in a long, long time. Are you not Luke Skywalker? I was. A long time ago. I'm just Luke now. Well, Luke, I was sent here by the Resistance. By Leia. Luke mutters to himself. Leia. We hear a roar as Chewbacca walks into the cave. He throws R2-D2 in before him. Luke's face lights up. Chewie! R2! Chewie mumbles sadly at Luke. His smile turns into a frown. Han, I know. I'm sorry, Chewie. There's nothing we can do. Chewie sadly nods. Luke turns to look at Rey, as if finally understanding what he has to do. Rey, I acknowledge you coming here. Thank you. But you need to leave. What? No, I won't leave you. You think I travelled all this way? You think I travelled all this way? You think I travelled to the outskirts of the galaxy for no reason at all? I came here for a reason, Rey. Rey is taken aback. Why did Luke come out all this way? Luke turns away from her again. Why did you? Why did I what? Come out this way? You said yourself you came here for a reason. Luke turns back to her. I'll show you. Interior, Snoke's throne room, day. A black door slides open and Kylo Ren steps out, like an ashamed child walking to a telling off. Supreme Leader Snoke sits in his throne, surrounded by lush red walls and guarded by Praetorian guards. Snoke is chuckling. Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren drops to his knees, keeping a safe distance from Snoke, but at the same time, trying to be respectful. Snoke. My boy, how wrong I was about you. What is the point of all this? Snoke waves his hand around the room. If at the end of the day, we cannot get our planet-destroying weapons incinerated by a little girl and her friends. That girl is strong in the Force. I offered her a place, a master. Next time I will not hesitate. I will kill her. You're lucky there is a next time, boy. If I hadn't killed Solo, I would have failed you, and the Resistance would have a powerful ally. If you hadn't killed Solo, you'd be dead. You, my boy, are nothing but a little child, hiding behind a mask. Snoke, with an extreme amount of force, raises his hand effortlessly and shoots lightning out of his fingertips. We follow the bolts directly into Kylo Ren's mask, severely damaging the front section and causing the helmet to fly to the floor. This takes Kylo aback as he too is forced to the ground. However, as soon as it began, it ended, and Kylo Ren regains his position without his mask. We see that his scar has run through the scar across his face is terrible, causing infections and anger to run through his blood. Nearly half his face is purple with bruises from the injury. Following his grandfather's legacy and yearning for a power he will never possess. You're wrong. One day I'll be more powerful than Vader. Snoke finds this amusing. Pathetic child. Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one, with a higher midichlorian count than you could ever dream of. Your dream is impossible. I would crush Darth Vader if he were alive as we speak. Oh, you're so sure, are you? We shall see. Snoke raises his arm a second time, force pushing Kylo Ren so he is violently rolling across the floor like a rag doll. By the time he has stopped, he realises he is no longer on the silky black floors of Snoke's throne room, but on a cold, hard, rocky surface of an unknown place to him. Now this is actually not mentioned if this was in the film, but it's the Sith Temple at Malachor, quite obviously, if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, so yeah. Kylo Ren, still laying on the floor, looks to his side and sees his lightsaber hilt has fallen off his belt. He grabs it. A familiar, ominous breathing starts. This startles Ren, and he looks up to see the terrifying figure of Darth Vader standing above him, lightsaber ignited, and swinging down to where he lay. Kylo, startled, rolls to the side, barely dodging the igniting blade, and without hesitation, inflaming his own cross-guarded lightsaber. He jumps up, and the two blades of energy clash. It is obvious that Vader is much stronger as he pushes his blade ever so slowly towards Kylo. Kylo Ren sees this and breaks the lock. They duel, however it is clear Vader is overpowering Kylo without barely even trying. In the darkness, Kylo Ren spots something shimmer. He force pulls it towards him and grasps hold of it. It is a spare lightsaber hilt. He ignites it to be met with a yellow blade. Having more reassuring and fair fight, Kylo Ren continues to duel Darth Vader, now not with one, but two lightsabers. This doesn't last long due to the fact that Darth Vader uses a powerful swing and cuts Kylo Ren's cross-guarded lightsaber hilt clean in half, and then spins around and slices Kylo Ren's spare hand clean off. Kylo Ren roars in pain and tries his best effort to fend Vader off, falling to his knees. However, he is no match for the Dark Lord, and with one last powerful sweep, is why this never was made into a film, because Disney would never do this. Darth Vader cuts Kylo Ren's head clean off. Yeah. Okay, interior, Snoke's throne room, day. Kylo Ren screams. It was only a vision, however he is sweating tremendously. On the other side of the room, his Supreme Leader chuckles. Now you see, child, you are no match for a Dark Lord of the Sith. You are useless, unwise, a ridiculous child with impossible dreams. Kylo Ren is fuming. If it were possible, he would murder Snoke where he sat. Instead, he grabs his half-shattered helmet and storms out. Exterior, Octo Island, cliff, day. Luke and Rey are climbing up an extremely rocky cliffside. Master Skywalker, why are we going all the way up here? It is the only true view. Rey turns to look behind her, staring at the ocean below. She mutters to herself, and I thought this was a short trip. Luke reaches the top of a hill and stares off into the distance. A couple of seconds later, Rey reaches the top of the cliff for a moment. She looks around and then sees it. A huge black pointed structure, a couple of miles off the island. The structure is so large it pierces the clouds and shoots up into them. It is incredible she didn't notice this when arriving. The most ancient temple of the Sith. The Sith? That's what I said, is it not? Why the Sith? Why would you come here because of the Sith? Why not come here because of a Jedi temple? What Jedi temple? Have you ever seen one? Well, no, but they're gone, Rey. They were all destroyed around 10 years ago. Rey's extremely taken aback. I came here to prevent the First Order from finding this place. The location of this temple has been long forgotten. If the First Order did find this place, it would be the end of the Resistance. It would be the end of the Jedi. Why? That place holds the secrets of the Sith. However, it contains all the secrets they knew about the Jedi too. How to destroy them, how to turn them to the dark, and how to drain their power. Rey stares off into the distance, knowing the true nature of this place before her. Luke looks behind him and sees the sun is setting. Look, you can stay the night if you want, but in the morning you go. Give Leia my love, but tell her that I cannot come back. Also, stay away from that temple, Rey, at all costs. It can bring out the worst in people. Yes, Master. Luke walks off. And don't call me Master. Interior, Resistance base, bunker, night. Finn sits down on a long bench, fist to chin. He looks around at the rest of the Resistance fleet. They are large in numbers, but no match for the First Order. He gets up off his seat and walks over to Poe. Poe, Finn, why are we just sitting down here, huh? What's our next move? We are hundreds of meters underground. I'm figuring that one out. Well, figure it out fast, because the First Order's trying to break in case you didn't know. It'll take them days, more like hours. You don't know the First Order like I do, Poe. So, what? You used to be one of them, huh? Doesn't mean that I haven't spent half my life avoiding them. Look, if there's any other exit apart from that rusty old elevator, he points to a literal rusty old elevator that brought them down here. No, Finn. What? If there was, we would have used it. Look, this place was built for bombing raids, Finn. Bombing raids, not to hide from the First Order like this. Then, well, we have well and truly lost. Interior, Octo Island, Millennium Falcon, night. Rey is fast asleep. She lays where the holochess table is. Uncomfy, but better than nothing. Suddenly, a huge rumbling sound comes from the sky above, violently shaking the ship. Then another, and another. She awakes, startled, and runs out of the Falcon to see what is going on. Lightsaber in hand, she looks to the sky to see hundreds of First Order ships flying overhead to the Sith Temple. Out of this mega fleet, she also spots Kylo Ren's TIE fighter. Rey's shocked. She immediately runs up to the island to Luke's cave to alert him of what's going on. He's not in his bed. Believing he must already be stopping the First Order, she rushes back to the Falcon where she takes off and flies towards the temple, now surrounded by First Order ships. She turns to Chewbacca as they land. Chewie, stay with the ship. Chewbacca is extremely confused. Rey exits the Falcon and walks outside to the entrance of the Sith Temple. She is under the ocean. However, the ocean has just dropped, creating a massive-looking underwater space, similar to a circular-looking Niagara Falls. I know it's a bit hard to imagine this bit, but bear with me, guys. She is standing on a black, wet, ancient platform. On the other side of this platform, standing in front of the entrance to the temple, is Kylo Ren. He wears his unbroken helmet and turns around to stare at Rey. You are going to pay for what you did. Am I? Shockingly, Kylo Ren and the full rest of the First Order completely vanish into thin air. Rey is shocked. It was all a vision created by this evil monstrosity of a temple. A rumbling, deep voice comes from inside the temple. Rey. Rey mutters to herself, terrified. No. You want to know, don't you? The secret of your parents. Who they were and why they left. No! Rey turns and runs back to the Falcon. However, before she reaches it, a nauseating view occurs, and the Falcon suddenly seems extremely far away. Everything is slowly but surely zooming out. Temple voice. There is no escape, Rey, of who you are. Flash 2. Jedi Temple, night. A man screams as from a behind shot as he is impaled with a beaming blue lightsaber blade. We do not recognize his face as he is impaled. We hear a young woman scream from nearby off-screen. Flash 2, Octo, Sith Temple, night. You will remember, in time. Rey is released from this nauseating mess of a place and runs back to the Falcon, shaken. Chewie lets go. Sorry, my Chewbacca impression is really bad. And yeah, it's not going to get any better as my throat gets sorer and sorer after reading the script. The Millennium Falcon takes off and races back to Octo Island. Exterior, Octo Island, day. Luke sits on a rock, staring at Rey. She has just told him what happened that night. Rey, I told you, that is a powerful place. Powerful enough to imitate an entire army. Correct. Look, I should have never let you stay the night. You need to go. Luke, please. The Resistance needs you. I need you. You don't need me. You need Luke Skywalker. And I am no longer Luke Skywalker. Interior, Snoke's ship, training room, night. Kylo Ren swings his lightsaber, waving through a training hologram. He no longer wears his mask. We see his purple and blood-struck veins flowing through his face. This fuels him and powers his anger. He has spent the last couple of weeks thinking of nothing apart from the death of a girl who gave him the scar that will be forever etched into his face. He swings again and again, every time piercing the nothingness of the hologram. He stops, worn down. He senses something. Flash 2, Millennium Falcon, day. Rey and Chewbacca take a seat in the Falcon, ready to take off. Rey looks up, startled. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to have some water. It's going to be literally less than 2 minutes. Okay. Let's go. So, Flash 2, Snoke's ship, training room, night. Kylo Ren senses Rey, suddenly knowing her exact location. He is shocked. Flash 2, Millennium Falcon, day. Rey knows that Kylo senses her. She is shaken. How could he know where she is? Flash 2, Snoke's ship, training room, night. I'm going to find you, Rey. When I do, you will join me, or I will slay you with the cruelest stroke. Kylo Ren exits the training room. Interior, Millennium Falcon, day. Rey looks over to Chewbacca as he is seconds from taking off. Chewie, hold that thought. Rey exits the Falcon and runs down the ramp. Luke is standing near the Falcon, waiting for it to take off. Rey. Luke, it's Ren. He knows. He's coming. Luke takes a deep breath in. He knew this day would come, however not any time soon. Aren't you coming with us? I have to stay. Rey. No, you don't. Rey, my days of fighting are long gone. No, you're still Luke Skywalker. Maybe. But my destiny lies here. Rey's torn. Does she stay with the Jedi Master or turn away? But yours doesn't. Go. Luke, please. Go. Rey makes her mind up. She turns away and runs towards the Falcon. She takes one last fleeting look at the once Jedi Master, and then she is gone. Exterior, Millennium Falcon, Octo, day. The Millennium Falcon lifts off as Luke watches. The moment gives off that this is the last time Luke will see the ship. A final moment between two old friends. Interior, Millennium Falcon, space, day. Rey and Chewbacca desperately try to flee the planet. A shorter time spent on the island than expected. Chewie, prepare to make the jump to light speed. Chewie. Nerf. I know. Interior, Resistance base, corridor, day. The First Order has made their way through the countless blast doors. General Hux is still watching their progress. Stormtrooper. Sir? Hux. I know. General turns around to see Captain Phasma walking towards him. Captain Phasma. General Hux, my division will make quick work of this. I'm sure they will. Captain Phasma stands aside to reveal a dozen black-armoured First Order stormtroopers with a single white stripe reaching from head to toe. This is the 501st version of the First Order, Captain Phasma's elite division. They immediately march over to the blast door and begin work. Interior, Dakar, Night Buzzard, day. The Knights of Ren sit in their ships. VIII Ren takes out a small, round object. Shooting out of it appears a blue glow, taking the shape of Kylo Ren. VIII Ren is surprised. He has not seen Kylo Ren's face since before Starkiller Base exploded. Brother, report to the finalizer at once. We have found him. Interior of the finalizer, Kylo Ren's quarters, day. Kylo Ren stares at the life-size hologram before him. He has trained these people well and would trust them with his life. There is no doubt that if the Knights of Ren were to oppose him, they would destroy him. Yes, at last, we shall destroy that beast. At last, our old masters will be destroyed. Await further orders. We will soon be together. The hologram of VIII Ren dissolves into thin air, leaving Kylo Ren with silence. He stands there for a second, taking in the conversation he has just had. However, also making a decision. He realises what he has to do to move on. He walks over to the stool where his grandfather's helmet lay. He places his hand on the helmet. He pulls it up to his face, so he is literally facing the helmet of Darth Vader. He is eye to eye with the mask and that object of death. He senses all the pain that has been caused with the very object in his hand. This was the symbol of the dark side. Kylo Ren, it's time to let old things die. He summons all of his power, all of his pain, Luke, Leia, his father, and the Jedi Order. He lets his anger fuel him. He crushes the helmet in his hand, bending the Force to his will. The helmet resists for a moment. The dark side lives inside his grasp. Inside this object, and then it gives way and crumbles to pieces under his grasp. He drops the pieces and blows the dust of his hand. Kylo Ren is no longer just a worshipper of the once most powerful Darth Vader. He has seen the weakness of Vader. He sees through his mask. Love destroyed Darth Vader and led to the fall of the Dark Lord. He will not allow the same to happen to him. He storms out the room, preparing to face the thing he most fears. Exterior, Octo, space, day. The finalizer exits lightspeed. Dispatching from the ship is multiple troop transports. Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter and the Night Buzzard. They bolt towards the surface of the planet. Fun fact, I was originally going to put the Knife 9 as the Knights of Ren ship, but, Night Buzzard canon, and, yeah. So, they bolt towards the surface of the planet. This day has been long awaited. Exterior, Octo, Island, day. Luke stares into the sky. Kylo Ren's TIE lands where the Millennium Falcon was just minutes ago. Kylo Ren exits and walks towards the once Jedi Master. Kylo Ren, it's time, old man. You once trained me? Now, like the Sith once did, the apprentice will slay the Master. I didn't train you. I trained Ben Solo. Kylo Ren, maybe. The Night Buzzard lands. All 6 knights exit. They create a semicircle around Luke. My old Padawans. No longer do we see the dogmatic narrow view of the Jedi fall. Oh, Sion, you haven't changed, have you? That name no longer belongs to me. So be it. The Jedi's lightsaber appears in his hand. He ignites the green glowing blade. In opposition, Kylo Ren ignites his crackled red blade. Finally losing his patience, he lunges with the lightsaber at Luke. Their blades collide. The Knights of Ren involve themselves in the huge duel. Luke is struggling against the evil oppression. Not only has he been out of practice, he is fighting one of the toughest and most powerful forces in the galaxy. He force pushes VIII Ren back as he simultaneously deflects blaster fire from Kylo Ren. He approaches the knight, who is the weakest of the bunch. He deactivates his lightsaber, much to the confusion of Kylo Ren, who fires upon him. He barrel rolls, mid-air, dodging the blast, turns the saber backwards, and ignites the green blade right through the middle of the knight's face, making the knight crumple to the floor. Trudgeon Wren and VIII Wren have approached the Jedi. Trudgeon doesn't last a second as Luke cuts his vibro clean in half and ducks to avoid the strike of VIII. He jumps back up and cuts the head of Trudgeon Wren clean off. VIII Wren screams, filling with rage at the death of not one but two Knights of Ren. He swings vigorously at Luke. He manages to slice the Jedi across the shoulder before Kylo Ren joins the fight. Kylo Ren literally force pushes the other knights back, determined to be the one to kill the former Jedi. He swings vigorously at Luke, who in turn repels the lightsaber hits. They engage in a clash. Kylo Ren, you are going to fall. Luke, I know. Kylo Ren backs off from the lightsaber clash, and the two get into a full-force final part of the duel, mirroring the beginning of the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin. However, this time, Kylo Ren slashes Luke across the stomach. Luke falls to his knees. Kylo Ren points the tip of the lightsaber to Old Master's neck. Destroy me and I'll always be with you, Ben. No. Yes. Because I am Luke. Luke Skywalker. Kylo Ren practically spits back at him. Yes, you are. Kylo Ren raises his lightsaber. He's been waiting for this for years. This man, who did nothing but care for him, will be terminated. All of his anger and all of his rage thrusts into the body of Luke Skywalker. Interior. Millennium Falcon. Hyperspace. Day. Rey sits on the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. She holds her head, almost as if in pain. She sensed the death of Luke Skywalker. Interior. Resistance Base. Bunker. Day. General Leia Organa stands in the middle of the bunker, a sad look on her face. She's not crying, as she has sensed that before her brother's death he was redeemed. She clutches something in her hand. She opens her hand to reveal in her palm she holds Han Solo's lucky dice. She closes her palm again, clutching the symbolic object. A loud, ear-piercing noise starts up. Interior. Resistance Base. Corridor. Day. Captain Phasma's elite division of stormtroopers are on to the last few blast doors. Hux. Well, your wonders never cease. General, ready your division. General Hux signals to 50 stormtroopers to ready their weapons. Captain Phasma's elite division, the 712, have made their way to the final blast door. Interior. Resistance Base. Bunker. Day. Poe Dameron hears a clunk from above. He realises that this is it. The First Order have broken in. That's not good. A bombardment of blaster fire envelops the resistance members from above. They attempt to fire back, however there is no use. They are losing troops faster than what seems possible. They manage to make their way over to a blind spot. Leia. Poe! What? If you have a better plan, then I suggest bringing it into action now. Poe turns away. He knows he has failed. The 712th troopers are still firing upon anything that moves, whereas the regs are just standing there, staring at the troopers' accuracy and their desire to kill. Sorry. A low rumble from above the surface startles the troopers. They look to the blast doors they have just entered from to see the distinct blue glow of a lightsaber. It is Rey. 712th trooper. Open fire! The troopers open fire on Rey, who at first struggles to deflect the countless laser bolts being shot in their direction. One nips her arm, leaving a bloody gash across her. She rushes at the troopers with full force, stabbing, slashing, and scathing the troopers. Poe and the rest of the resistance spot the troopers have been distracted. Leia. Somebody has to save our skins. The rest of the resistance turn away from their hiding spot and open fire on the stormtroopers as a squadron of them descend using wires swung over the balcony. There is now war on both floors. General Hux managed to sneak around and run out of the room like a coward. Captain Phasma has made her way down to the lower level of the bunker. She stands there, in her chrome armour, firing on any resistance troops. She then spots who she's looking for. FN-21A7. Actually, Chrome Dome, it's Finn. Finn has been waiting for this. He raises his blaster and fires. He is surprised to find that the captain doesn't flinch as the blaster bolt is deflected off her shiny armour. Finn throws his blaster away and grabs a First Order baton off the body of a stormtrooper. Phasma raises her own baton, which is a long silver spike. It's where the sore throats kicks in. Finn brutally swings at Phasma, who swiftly dodges and retaliates with ease. Shocking Finn. He raises his baton again, and they get into a brutal duel, each swinging as brutal as the next. Finn is full of rage, swinging with major intent. This person took away his family and his life. Finn creates a stabbing motion. He shocks Phasma in the stomach, making her fly to the concrete floor. She goes to get up, but is immediately thrown back down to her knees. So basically, I forgot to add here that Poe is actually standing with his blaster aimed at her head. Listen, if you want me to blow that bucket off your head, I will. If you don't, I suggest you remain very still. Poe, don't mention it. Rey is finishing off with the remaining stormtroopers. We see she has taken many hits and is bleeding from various different places. She pins the last officer up against the wall with her lightsaber deactivated. Jedi scum. Leia sees the battle is over. Help out the injured, both sides. But General, we are not savages, help them out. She makes her way up to Rey. Leia. If it's about Luke, I know. Now let's get on this ship and get out of this place. The Resistance exit the bunker, running through their destroyed corridors. Interior Resistance base. Corridor day. Grab anything you can, but make it quick. Some members of the Resistance separate off from the group to grab essential supplies as the main group exits and look for remaining ships. Exterior, Dakar, day. General, Lieutenant, with all due respect, how do you expect us to make the jump to light speed if there is a blockade of First Order ships just waiting for us to exit the atmosphere? I never asked that question until after I've done it. Now make yourself useful and help either with boarding the transports or gathering munitions and supplies. Yes, General. They all start to board the Millennium Falcon and other remaining First Order ships. We see huge weapons being loaded into some of the ships, along with supplies to set up a new base. Leia looks up to the sky and sees that there are TIE fighters descending from the Star Destroyers. Nodin Chaffrey. Nodin Chaffrey is just a Resistance member. I looked it up on Wikipedia, if you want to search it up. General, we have no live fighters. What should we do to fend them off? There's no time. Board the transports and let's get out of this place. Nodin Chaffrey. But the essentials. This is an order. The Resistance soldiers run to their ships, abandoning all the essential items and evacuating the planet. The last members of the Resistance board and the ships take off. Exterior, Resistance ship, Dakar, day. The TIE fighters open fire on the Resistance ships, immediately engulfing them in a hail of blaster fire, causing much damage to the ships. Interior, Millennium Falcon, gunner seat, day. Finn sits inside the gunner seat of the Falcon. He is like an excited child, being reunited with his favourite toy. Oh yeah, I'm back, under his breath. I'm back. Exterior, Millennium Falcon, Dakar, day. The gun on the other side of the Falcon opens fire on the First Order ships, destroying many instantly. Interior, First Order TIE Fighter, Dakar, day. First Order pilot. Sir, the Resistance fleet are escaping. Interior, First Order Star Destroyer, bridge, space. Admiral VIII looks down on the gleaming glow of the planet Dakar as the battle unfolds. He lifts up his comlink and speaks into the TIE Fighter pilot. Admiral VIII. Pilot, gather your forces and return to the destroyers. Another officer walks over. Are you insane? No, Lieutenant. I have officers from the Supreme Leader himself. They will not make it through our blockade. It is impossible. Exterior, First Order fleet, space. Hundreds of Star Destroyers lace the scene. The finalizer exit hyperspace and a Kylo Ren's TIE Advance exits the ship, followed by the Night Buzzard. They make their way through the fleet to Snoke's ship and land in a docking bay. Interior, Snoke's ship, corridor, space. Kylo Ren and his knights storm the corridors of Snoke's Star Destroyer. Interior, Snoke's ship, throne room, space. My boy, welcome back. I have sensed your success. The last Jedi is dead. I have returned to experience the end of the Resistance, to watch them burn. Within time, I will return to the planet where Luke Skywalker hid with cowardice. There is a Sith temple there. I wish to learn from it. Ah, you discovered it. You know of this temple? Yes, I visited with my former Padawan in the days of the Old Republic. The Jedi killed 2 of my knights. I'm aware. You have to train them well for their survival. My men will not fail next time. Then prove it, Ren. Destroy the Resistance and take the knights with you. Yes, Supreme Leader. Kylo Ren goes to exit. Oh, and Ren. Kylo Ren turns around. Don't fail me again. Kylo Ren gulps. Of course. He exits. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, day. Poe looks out the cockpit at the retreating First Order. Finn exits the gunner seat and walks to his side. Something's up, definitely. They walk to the main room of the Falcon, where most of the remaining resistance is, including Leia. General, the First Order is being very peculiar. Very peculiar. They have completely retreated. Interior, Snoke's ship, hangar, space. Kylo Ren, followed closely by the Knights of Ren, enter the hangar and march towards their ships. Brother. Kylo Ren holds one finger up, silencing Vicral Ren. Every day. Interior, Millennium Falcon, space. Leia sits, surrounded by the Resistance soldiers. They are preparing to die. We grow stronger. As the First Order, interior, Snoke's ship, hangar, space, grow weaker. Interior, Millennium Falcon, space. Finn, inspired by Leia, continues her speech. Now, I know we're entering seems impossible, but... Interior, Snoke's ship, hangar, space. I won't let them win. Interior, Millennium Falcon, space. So if you don't get what's going on, they're basically repeating similar or the exact same speech to their troops. We will not let them win. We will not let them win. We will stand and fight. And if we fail then, so be it. But I'm willing to go out trying. Poe walks towards him and pats him on the back. Well said, Finn. Snap Wexley. Do we even have a plan? I'm getting to that part. 2 girls, around 20 years old, run into the room. Rose Tico. General, apologies for the intrusion, but my sister Paige and I have calculated that there may be a very small space between the fleet of the First Order that we can make the jump to lightspeed from. Paige. But we have to line up the ships to jump one at a time, and by then the First Order might realise. If it's too risky, yes, but it's the only shot we've got right now. I trust them. It's not about trust, it's about whether this can work. It will. I believe it will. Leia is unsure and uneasy, however accepting that is their only plan, and respecting the choices of Finn, Poe, Rey and the rest of the Resistance. Leia. Dewey. Exterior, Kylo Ren's TIE Interceptor, space. The sleek black TIE Interceptor of Kylo Ren glides through the First Order fleet. 4 other advanced TIE fighters follow closely behind, each having a distinctive feature about them. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, day. Chewie co-pilots the Falcon next to an alien. A transmission of a voice comes through the speakers. This is General Hux of the First Order. Bring us the girl and we will let you and your pathetic friends flee. Oh, my voice. Poe runs into the cockpit. Hello, sorry about my friend there, Hux. He would very much like to eat you alive right now. What did you say? This is General Hux of the First. All right, I got that part. Now let's skip the crappy intros next time, okay? Bring us the girl and we will let you and your friends go unharmed. Rey wanders into the cockpit. Let me just consult with that a minute. Poe turns off the connection and turns to Rey. Poe, you have to let me go. What? What kind of nonsense is that? I won't let all of you die for me. Screw that. Poe turns back on the connection. Yeah, Hux, we've come to a decision and we decided that the chances of you actually letting us go are... Oh, that's right, Chewie. Where's 3PO when you need him? C-3PO waddles in. I am here, sir. Poe, okay, that's great. He leans over to Chewie. I actually regret calling him. Could you get him out of here? Oh, what did I say? C-3PO waddles away and walks back into the main room of the Falcon. I'm going to get some water quick. My voice is actually going to kill me. Okay. Nice. Okay. Let's get back right into it. My only regret about this script, for your information, is the lack of droids in it. So, yeah, that's one of C-3PO's few lines. I would have done more if I did more drafts of the script. So, interior, First Order Star Destroyer, bridge, space. Huck stands, hearing all the commotion going on. He turns to the crew. Enough of this, fire! The First Order crew member. Yes, sir. Exterior, First Order fleet, space. Out of the blue, a rain of fire comes from between the First Order fleet as the 5 advanced TIE fighters emerge. The First Order transports, now turned Resistance transporters, are destroyed in seconds, exploding into the vacuum of space. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. Poe and Rey watch as the Resistance fleet, their friends, are destroyed in seconds. We see through the reflection of Poe's eyes the light of the explosion. We hear through the transmissions the screams of the final words of members of the Resistance. Interior, Kylo Ren's TIE Interceptor, space. Close up on the face of Kylo Ren. He has no sympathy for the countless lives he is taking. We can see that his face is growing more and more infected. His veins are shockingly visible, powering his anger and summoning his energy. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. Rose runs into the cockpit. The gap is at 2 o'clock, now or never. Poe gives a desperate look, pats Chewie on the shoulder, and the ship makes the turn and jumps into light speed. Sorry about the noise right now, if there is noise. There's a massive gust of wind outside and I'm right next to a window. The gap is at 2 o'clock, now or never. Poe gives a desperate look, pats Chewie on the shoulder, and the ship makes the turn and jumps into light speed, as a hail of fire misses them by inches. So basically, the Millennium Falcon is the only ship left now, and all the other ones have been destroyed. Interior, Kylo Ren's TIE Interceptor, space. Kylo Ren is enraged. If someone were to interrupt him at this moment, even one of his knights, although they know better than not to, he would surely slaughter them. That's it. Return to the ship. Exterior, First Order fleet, space. The advanced TIE fighters turn around, but not before firing one last shot at the now space junk floating around. They approach Snoke's ship. Interior, Millennium Falcon, hyperspace. The remainder of the Resistance sit in silence, mourning the death of their friends. BB-8 rolls over to Rey and beeps at her, trying to cheer her up. She gives a weak smile to the round droid. Poe holds back tears. So now what? Oh, what now? Our numbers are too small to make a difference against the First Order. There is no hope. No, we're not alone. We have numbers, more than the First Order could ever dream of. Just because we have lost hundreds of Resistance members today doesn't mean we have nothing left to fight tomorrow. That is right. Thousands of people will fight if we lead them. The galaxy hates the First Order as much as we do. We don't have a communication system that is large enough and that the First Order won't be able to block and track. But I know someone who does. Leave that to me. Of course you know someone who has one of those. I'll assist Poe. General, he will come with me and I'll make him think he's assisting. Don't let him do that. Poe, where do you and Finn need to go? Poe sighs. You're not gonna like it. Poe, right now I'm gonna like anything that can help us. It's on Iagora. Oh, Poe, are you sure? I thought you liked anything that could help us. What's wrong with Iagora? I had some bad luck on Iagora. There's no such thing as luck. You did those things yourself. Poe walks over to the cockpit. Chewie, set course for Iagora. Oh. I don't care. Just set course, okay? Poe walks back into the main area of the Falcon and begins to engage in a discussion with Finn about the plan. Meanwhile, Rey talks with Leia. Rey, about Luke. General, his death I sense wasn't in vain. There was peace, and a journey fulfilled. Why didn't he return with you? He wanted to prevent the First Order from finding a Sith temple, an ancient one. Leia gives a weak smile of understanding. Luke always wanted the best for everyone, but after Ben turned, he just wasn't the same. I know. Deep down, he would have wanted to train you, which is why I will help you. You are going to train me in the ways of the Jedi? No, not me, but after we drop these two off on Iagora, I will take you to someone who will train you. Leia, thank you. Don't mention it. Interior, Snoke's ship, throne room, space. The elevator door to Snoke's throne room slides open. It is instantly revealed that Supreme Leader is furious. He raises his hand and vigorously pulls Kylo Ren towards him. He brutally hits the floor and rolls over. He gets up onto his knees and hands and knees. He tries to stand up, but is forced to the ground again. You failure! I destroyed almost all of the Resistance. Pathetic child. All of the Resistance must die. When I found you, you were a child. You grew to be a soldier. What are you now, Kylo Ren? A coward? Supreme Leader. Silence! I am tired of your constant failures. How has the galaxy gone from the most powerful ruler of the Sith to a weak and pathetic little boy who... I will be stronger than the Sith. I will be stronger than Darth Vader. I will be more powerful than Darth Sidious. I will be more powerful than all before him. Darth Maul, Darth Tyrannus, Ego Damask. My boy, I am Damask. I am Darth Plagueis. I have watched the Sith rise and fall. I have watched in the shadows as this galaxy has fallen to ruin, and here you are allowing the Jedi to rise. Kylo Ren is taken aback. Now, go! Explore the corners of the galaxy. Come back only when you are deemed worthy of a true Sith. Go. Kylo Ren storms out the throne room, angered and determined. Exterior, Iagora, Millennium Falcon, space. The Millennium Falcon exits hyperspace. We see the ship turn around smoothly and fly towards the dark blue-looking planet. Exterior, Iagora, Tolu, docking bay, night. The Millennium Falcon roars into view and lands violently in a docking bay. A docking bay worker is startled as the ship almost crashes down, and the ramp extends to see Poe and Finn exit. Someone looks like they're in a hurry. Look, we don't have time for this. Refuel the ship. If you try to steal anything, there are about 20 other people on board. I'll pay you up front, but that's only because the ship is going to take off the second you refuel it. Docking bay worker. Okay, no problem, buddy, I got that. Poe tosses the worker a bag of credits. Finn turns to Poe as they exit the docking bay. Well said. Thanks. Exterior, Iagora, Tolu, street, night. Poe and Finn walk down a street in the town of Tolu. It is a backwater world, full to the brim with gangsters, crime lords, pirates, and generally the worst people in the galaxy. Well, I can see why you had bad luck here. Must be pretty easy to get on the wrong side of people. I didn't get on the wrong side of just one person. Sorry. What? Exterior. Iagora. Tolu, night. Poe and Finn turn down an alleyway. A person wearing Mandalorian armour walks up to the end of the alley, blocking off the entrance. On the other end of the alley stands another bounty hunter, Mandalorian, Poe Dameron. Hey, Sion. Who is Sion? Poe introduces the two. Sion, Finn, Sion Biblo. You're in big trouble, Poe. Am I? I thought I paid off my debt. I have literally just realised, guys, that Sion is the same name of the bounty hunter. Sorry about that. If I were to re-go through this, I would change the name of the Knight of Ren. Sorry, not the bounty hunter. Funny. Now, I'm sure you... I sure hope you've come back with a starship full of credits. Otherwise, you are in for a rough ride. Well, you see, I was just getting to that part. Now I see. Bad luck. He never told you why he ran off? No, and I don't really want to know, thank you. Poe Dameron was one of my best bounty hunters. Finn to Poe. You're a bounty hunter? Quiet. Poe, if it were up to me, I would vaporise you right where you stand. But that would be turning down a decent amount of credits. Look, Sion, we've been in this game for a long time. I've been in this game for a long time, Poe. You left. Well, maybe you're right, but what? Look, what we came here for is worth more than credits. Oh, yeah? Yeah, right, Poe. Poe slowly nods. Enough of this, capture them! The bounty hunter behind them grabs Poe on the shoulder. He pulls out his blaster and fires. He misses narrowly and hits the brick wall instead. Finn pulls out his blaster and fires at Sion Biblo. The bolt is deflected. Why does everybody have blaster-proof armour? Sion Biblo raises his blaster and fires multiple shots at Finn. One of the shots gash him across the leg, and he flies to the floor. Poe grabs Finn's blaster, shoots the bounty hunter in the stomach, and turns and holds his blaster point blank range at Mandalorian helmet. Sion Biblo lets out a friendly chuckle. You haven't changed, Poe. Of course I haven't. Poe slaps Sion on the back as he lowers his weapon. Finn lays on the floor in pain. What? Give me a second, my pages are being annoying. Sion Biblo helps him up and puts his arm over his shoulder. Don't worry, Finn, they're allies. Poe helps up the other bounty hunter. Is Mara still alive? Yeah, we still have most of your stuff, you know. I'm sorry, but who is Mara and what is going on? We had a sort of alliance back in the day, a clan. It was some clan. Exterior, Irigora, Tolu, Knight. Street Knight. There were 5 of us. You could call it a clan. There are 4 now, if you include you. Sorry, Sion, I didn't come back to join the crew. So, what did you come here for? A beacon. A transmission device which is off the charts of the First Order. Sion Biblo. And let me guess, you wanted to use Mara's. Well, you know, I thought maybe, if I could, yeah, I wanted to use Mara's. Who are you dealing with that you want to avoid the First Order like that? I'm surprised you didn't find out earlier. Find out what? He joined the Resistance. Sion grabs Poe and slams him against the wall. He loudly whispers, The Resistance? What are you doing here? Are you crazy? We have to get you inside and off-world immediately. What? No, we came here for a reason. Poe, you haven't been here for ages, have you? The First Order will hunt down and kill you. Well, that's not exactly any different to anywhere else. Come on, let's get you back to the workshop. Exterior, Octo Island. Day. Kylo Ren's TIE Interceptor suddenly rushes into view, shaking the camera around wildly as it makes its violent descent to the surface of the planet. The ship skims the water, creating a violent current of water. The ocean, like it did for Rey, opens up, revealing an old and rusting black platform. Kylo Ren lands there and exits his ship. Exterior, Octo, Sith Temple, night. Kylo Ren storms out his TIE Interceptor. The entrance to the Sith Temple is a huge rock door nearly 5 times the size of him. A deep voice emerges. Ben Solo. I killed Ben Solo. No, you are Ben Solo. I once was. Kylo Ren turns to lift the door to the temple with the Force. It takes 2 to open the door. Oh yeah? Kylo Ren, summoning everything he has, uses his other arm as well. The door lifts by an inch. Higher, higher. He struggles. He runs at the door and rolls under it just in time before it collapses on him. Impressive, but you cannot cheat the Sith. A huge amount of lightning comes from deep inside the core of the temple, shooting Kylo Ren through the door, smashing it and making him fly out of the temple. Bleeding and broken, he screams and looks up at the rock door. The pieces of rock that were broken are still there. However, the actual door is completely normal. Come back with an apprentice, one more powerful and more worthy. The water dip that Kylo is in starts to close. The water rises on the floor, and in seconds he is knees deep in water. No! That was the most pathetic no I've ever said. He raises his hand and begins to make dents in the temple. He is attempting to crush it. He eventually gives up due to the water and wades his way over to the ship. He gets in and takes off. The water folds in and comes crashing down. Interior, Irigora, Toru, night. Mara's workshop, night. Sion Biblo, Poe, Finn and the bounty hunter enter the workshop. We instantly get the impression that this workshop has materials aging back decades. We see many pieces of metal, a deactivated B-2 battle droid, an Imperial Stormtrooper helmet, and more. Sion Biblo takes off his helmet and places it on the table. He is a scruffy-looking man with medium-length black hair. Wait, are Mandalorians allowed to take off their helmets? Pfft, you think I'm a Mandalorian? I stole this armor for a dead man. Oh, right. A woman in a yellow jumpsuit is doing some metal work on a table. She looks up and takes off the goggles she wears, so we see her eyes. She looks confused and squints to see if Poe, her old friend, has really come back. Poe Dameron, you are so lucky I didn't kill you where you stand. She picks up a metal tool and points it at Poe's neck. Look, Mara, I'm sorry I left. You better be. Now what do you want? Well, first, Dax need a clean-up. He points to the injured bounty hunter. Oh, wow, what happened? That's a long story, and this guy, points to Finn, has been shot in the leg and needs some help too. What have you been up to? Sion hands over the two injured to her, and she powers up the battle droid. Droid, fix up this man's leg. Yes. Wait, what? You're letting that thing heal me? There a problem? Finn's nervous. No problem. Sion pats Poe on the shoulder. Poe, follow me. I have something to show you. Sion Biblo takes Poe out the back door. They are instantly introduced to a metal fence with locked gate. On the other side of the metal is a silver cargo ship, giving the impression of the Falcon, but different, having its own sleek style. And it is about half the size smaller. No way. You kept the Oblivion? That's not the only thing we kept, come on. They walk up to the gate and Sion goes into his satchel and pulls out a First Order access card. He swipes it, opening the gate. Just so you know, we are now one page over halfway through the script. So he opened the gate. Wait, this is the First Order shipyard that you are keeping this in? Well, yeah, that's why I was nervous earlier. You have to present an ID for you to take off from here. That's going to be a problem. Exterior, eyed, day. Rey stands, staring upwards. She is watching the Millennium Falcon preparing to take off. The wind is blowing in her face. Leia stands next to her. Rey turns to look in the horizon. She is standing on a massive boulder. However, there is nothing but rocks for miles and miles, stretching into the vastness of the landscape. It is a world of literal boulders. This was a bit of a strange world that I thought of, but, you know, it's just very strange. Well, I was going to complain about you dumping me on a rock, but it seems there are many. This world is something quite unusual. You will figure out why soon enough. Rey smiles. Leia reaches out her hand calmly. Rey at first is confused, and then the lightsaber hilt flies clean off her belt and into Leia's hand. Rey is surprised. You can... Luke had a lot of time on his hands after the war. Rey smiles again. The memory of Luke is a warm one. Why did you take my... You won't be needing it anymore. But how... Use your staff. Now, no more questions. Good luck. Thank you, General. Leia turns back to the Falcon, and Rey watches as she boards the ship and takes off. In the gust of wind from the Falcon, the wind starts to change colour in a spot. Then a figure fades in. It is a little green creature, but it is see-through, like a ghost. Rey is confused. Rey, looking forward to meeting you, I have been. I'm not doing the Yoda voice. I'm not sure why I did it then. I take it you're someone I was supposed to meet? Surprised? Much confusion I sense in you, Rey. Come here to learn, you have? Yes, I came here to train in the ways of the Jedi. The Jedi? Gone they are. Their religion, however, remains. The Jedi are not gone. Correct. But dead. All of them are. The Jedi, you are not. No, but I will be, Yoda chuckles. So certain you are. A hard path to become a Jedi there is. I'm ready. Have to be, you will. Rey gives him an uncertain look. Give me a second. This really damages my throat, all this reading. Oh, I don't know how long I've been reading, actually. Probably about an hour now, maybe a bit over. Oh, anyway. Okay, let's get back to reading. Oh, no. So we're 60 pages in out of 112. Let's go. Rey gives him an uncertain look. Oh, just read that bit. Interior, Iagoro, Tolu, the Oblivion, night. So the Oblivion is the name of Poe's ship. So, the pair enter the Oblivion and Poe is ecstatic. being reunited with his first ever ship. He was born on Iagora. The ship was all he had for years. Hey, look at this. Sion points to a crate in the corner of the ship. He lets Poe walk over and unlock it. Inside there is a sort of trench coat, a DC-15S clone trooper blaster, formerly owned by Poe as a weapon of choice. There is also a tracking fob at the bottom of the crate. It is smashed due to being crushed and of age. No way, you kept all this? Of course I did. Sion, how can I ever thank you? Well, you could start by destroying the First Order. They chuckled, old friends reunited. They hear a shout and look over the ramp. Interior, Iagora, Tolu, the Oblivion, Knight. The pair enter the Oblivion and Poe is ecstatic, being reunited with his first ship ever. He was born on Iagora. This ship was all he had for years. Sion Biblo. Hey, look at this. Sion points at a crate in the corner of the ship. He lets Poe walk over and unlock it. Inside, there is a sort of trench coat, a DC-15S clone trooper blaster, formerly owned by Poe as his weapon of choice. There is also a tracking fob at the bottom of the crate. It is smashed due to being crushed and of age. No way, you kept all this? Of course I did. Sion, how can I ever thank you? Well, you could start by destroying the First Order. They chuckle, old friends reunited. They hear a shout and look over the ramp of the ship. Mara stands there. Will you two stop and come inside? Poe and Sion exit the ship via the ramp. They close it behind them and walk to the workshop. Interior, Iagora, Toru, Mara's workshop, night. They enter the workshop to see Finn screaming on the table. Ah, get off me, droid! Get your filthy hands! Ah! The battle droid is trying to help out Finn, but failing miserably. Poe and Sion are taken back into the room by Mara, where we see a long crate that is the size to fit a rifle in. Mara walks over to the crate and blows the dust that has gathered on it since its last use. She opens it, and we see a disassembled homing beacon. So, what are you waiting for? Set it up. No, I'm sorry, but I cannot set it up here. It's too risky. And how long has it been since you used that thing? Well, a couple of years, maybe. Exactly. You've forgotten what happens if you power that thing up. Well, yeah. I need to find an open space. The First Order may not be able to track it, but they will be able to see it. He closes the crate and picks it up. So, how much do you want for it? The two, Mara and Sion, look up at him. Interior, Siagoru, Toru, the Oblivion Knight. Poe walks into the Oblivion as he holds up the crate. 10,000 credits! 10,000! They knew how much he needed it, so they decided to make a profit. Yeah, and clearly I need a lot if I'm willing to give them 10,000. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. Oh yeah? Really desperate then. Poe walks into the front of the ship and starts to power the ship on. It makes a chattering sound and powers off again. Confused, Poe retries turning it on. The same thing repeats itself. Poe looks out the window to see a First Order patrol walking towards the ship. Stop! You don't have the authorization to take off. Poe, murmuring to himself, yeah, got that. Poe flicks the multiple switches and the ship makes another chattering sound. However, this time the ship's power remains. Yes! Finn, let's get out of this place. Finn stands at the ramp, his blaster aimed at the outside. The First Order stormtroopers turn the corner and he fires, hitting his first shot directly at the chest of a trooper. Another stormtrooper fires, missing multiple shots but hitting one on his own blaster pistol, knocking out of his hand to the floor. Finn takes cover and looks over to the crate. Crouching, he opens it and eyes the clone trooper blaster. He picks it up and fires at the troopers. The weapon is powerful. Oh yeah, I like this thing. The ship lifts off. Finn continues to fire down on the remaining stormtroopers and they continue to fire up at the ship. Exterior, Iagora, Tolu, First Order shipyard, night. A First Order stormtrooper on the ground raises his comm after the battle. This is LF-1406. We need immediate backup. I repeat, immediate backup. Interior, Iagora, Tolu, the Oblivion Knight. Finn runs into the cockpit where Poe is sitting. Poe looks down at the control screen to to see a red dot appear. That says red do. It's supposed to say red dot. Okay. Please don't bully me. Okay. Oh no! What? We have incoming. Green light flashes past the cockpit view. The ship is still making shaky and chattery noises. If it hasn't flown in over a decade. Exterior, Iagoru Tolu, the Oblivion Knight. 2 First Order TIE fighters race towards the Oblivion, firing at the ship furiously, with furiosity. Interior, Iagoru Tolu, the Oblivion Knight. Poe speaks into the ship's built-in comm. Hello, this is Poe Dameron of the Resistance. Do you read me? A strange voice answers on the other side of the comm in an alien dialect. Wrong frequency, Finn shakes his head. Hello, is anyone out there? This is Poe. Leia over comm. Poe? Leia, am I glad to hear you? We're in need of an urgent pickup. I thought you found a ship. We did, we are. Look, we're on a ship, but we've got some company. Another bright green light flashes, and the ship shakes. Poe to Finn. Finn, get in the gunner seat. There's a gunner seat? Yeah, now get in here. There's a gunner seat and you didn't tell me earlier. Finn, just get in the gunner seat. Finn runs out of the cockpit and gets into, sure enough, a gunner's bubble on the side of the ship. Finn slides himself in as instantly as Finn slides himself in and is instantly in front of 2 turrets. He flicks a button and nothing happens. He flicks it again for the same reaction. Poe, your rust bucket of a gunner seat is broken. Poe, hang on. Poe flicks around some switches and inside the gunner seat the turrets fire up. He shoots at the TIE fighters and lands a few shots. None of them destroy the 2 ships, but they do leave some damage. The TIEs begin to fire back. Exterior, Iagoru Tolu, the Oblivion Knight. The turret that Finn sits in fires repeatedly at the TIE fighters as they desperately fire back. One of the shots from the turret hits the left TIE fighter, and it slowly, a smoke trail from behind it makes its descent to the ground below. It explodes as it hit the floor. The last TIE fighter fires at the bubble and successfully destroys it. The gunner seat Finn is in explodes. Poe hears the explosion. He looks at the controls to see there is a red X over the gunner seat to indicate that it has been destroyed. Finn! Poe places the ship on autopilot and runs to the door that opens into the gunner seat. He is instantly met with a horrific sight. A brutally injured Finn hangs onto the metalwork that is now in mid-air. He is screaming as the wind blows in his face. He has lost a leg from below the knee. Poe pulls Finn through the hatch. Okay, buddy, hold on. Oh yeah, page 66, guys, let's go. Execute order 66. Poe reaches up to a small panel where a medkit is. He takes out a syringe and stabs Finn in the arm. Finn calms down and falls to sleep. Poe is shaking as he bandages up Finn's leg. A shot from the TIE fighter behind them rattles the ship. Poe, I guess this is it, pal. I'm sorry. Poe looks through the ship. He can see nothing. He can see something through the window, and suddenly a flashing light comes towards the ship. He braces, but the shot misses and hits the TIE fighter behind him, destroying it. Exterior, Iagoru Tolu, the Oblivion Knight. The Millennium Falcon races into view, destroying the TIE fighter chasing the Oblivion. It docks with Poe's ship. Interior, Iagoru Tolu, the Oblivion Knight. Poe is very confused. He hears the ship docking. They're boarding us? The docking door opens to the ship, and in walks Chewbacca. Grrr! Chewie, am I glad to see you? I need a little help over here. More Resistance members board the ship. A medic takes the unconscious Finn. Poe hugs Chewbacca. Leia walks into the ship. She eyes Finn. He'll be alright. He shouldn't have come. I shouldn't have let him. Maybe. There's nothing we can do about that now. Oh, you're welcome, Chewie. You're welcome for the ship. Exterior, Ide. Sarah Temple, day. Rey stands in front of an obviously man-made structure of boulders. She is sweating as she has walked a long way. She looks at the structure and crawls between the small space in the rocks. She pulls her staff in afterwards. Inside is a very cramped space. All she can see is rocks, apart from below her feet. As between the light and the rocks, she sees a glow. She lowers herself down into the underground of the planet of Ide. There is a huge cave. It is almost as if the rocky surface has been forgotten. All she sees is a long, never-ending stretch of a cavern. She then sees where the glow is coming from. On a piece of the cave wall there are 2 white, glowing crystals. She edges towards them and grabs them. The cave wall collapses in on themselves. Rei is crushed, however she falls. She is falling in the darkness of space and time. She falls through the core of the planet, swallowing mud, rock, ash, magma. She falls through the other side of the planet and lands in a muddy place that she instantly recognises as the burning temple she saw from her last vision when she touched the lightsaber. Exterior: Jedi Temple, Fourth Vision, night. As Rei crawls around in the mud, a 3-way lightsaber fight takes place. We cannot see who is actually having the duel, however. Just their legs are in the shot. Dueler 1. Rei, run! Rei looks confused. She gets up and starts to run. She slips in the mud and lands in the glossy floor of Snoke's throne room. Interior: Snoke's throne room, Force Vision, day. Rei looks around. Suddenly, Kylo Ren runs at her, lightsaber ignited. However, he doesn't run at her. He runs straight past her towards a standing Snoke. Immediately, he is thrown backwards with a wave of Snoke's hand. He crumples to the floor. Rei stands, but as soon as she does, she is back in the cave. Interior: Ide, Sarer Temple, caves, day. Rei, confused, holds the white crystals in her hand. She stares at them, horrified. She then turns to look at the ceiling and walls of the cave, expecting them to collapse. She runs back to where she came in, climbs up through the crack in the rocks, and exits the structure. Exterior: Ide, Sarer Temple, day. Rei exits the temple with the crystal. The ghost of Yoda appears. What was that? No, I do not. But the Force reached out to you, it did. Rei opens the palm of her hand. I found these. Yes, kyber crystals they are. Your destiny was to find 2. Was it supposed to be that easy? Changed times have. A hard task it used to be. No longer it is. Why? The planet of Ilum held the secrets of the kyber crystal. It did. The planet of Ilum is no longer. The doing of the First Order. Yes. Now, Rei, you must go. But I need training. Training, you seek. Training? Well, yes, a lightsaber. Constructed one you have not. How do I find out? Find it out you will. How do you suggest I build it out of? Rock? Feel what is right. You must do, Rei. A look of realization comes across Rei's face. She looks at her staff. Yoda looks at her, smiling. The ghost disappears. Rei looks into the distance. Her journey is about to begin. Interior: Millennium Falcon, space. Chewbacca walks over the floor compartments in the Falcon. He lifts them up, and in sits Captain Phasma, handcuffed. She looks up. Resistance scum. I will... Chewbacca. What am I saying? Chewbacca reaches in and grabs her. He lifts her up so high that for a second she is flying. She lands roughly onto the floor of the ship. Ah! Chewie grabs her and drags her into the main room of the Falcon. Her helmet is missing, her armour is cracked, and no longer is she the elegant captain of the First Order. Chewie, be gentle. Chewie lets go of Phasma. She looks around ashamed. She eyes Finn, who is still unconscious, being cared for. Traitor. He did the right thing. You, on the other hand, are very different. You are terrorists, and you are not. You have stood by and watched countless worlds taken over and be destroyed. What do you want? To give you a chance. There is a pause. Poe sighs. Poe! What? She's literally the person who Finn threw down a trash compactor. I heard that when her troops helped her out, she murdered them for speculating why she was in there. Look, she's not denying it. Leia turns back to Phasma, ignoring Finn. Look, if you're not going to cooperate, we will just send you back to the floorboards. 2 resistance soldiers roughly grab Phasma and start to practically drag her down the corridor. Wait! She sighs. In case you were wondering, the First Order has lost interest in Giraffe. Giraffe? The mining planet? Leia squints her eyes at Phasma. unsure. If I may intrude, the chances of this factor being a lie is 9,327 to 1. You're right, 3PO. I don't trust her. I do. Like Leia said, a chance. Captain Phasma danced her eyes around the crowd. Are you crazy? This is definitely a double cross. Okay, we will travel to Giraffe. For a look. We are the very last of the Resistance. The final hope. We cannot fail. Give her some food and some hospitality. We are no savages. The Resistance soldiers pick up Phasma, more gentle this time, and take her to get hospitality. Exterior, eyed, day. Rey sits on a boulder, meditating. Using quick flicks of her hand, she levitates her staff. She takes parts off it, making spaces. Finally, she snaps the staff in half, creating a shorter hilt. She opens her eyes and lets the staff drop to the floor. She reaches over to a satchel she's been carrying and brings out a handful of wires. Thank you, Leia. Rey gives a warm smile, thinking of Leia. She does some more fiddling with the wires and the staff as she inserts them into the spaces which she has created. We pan out to see the ghost of Yoda observing. Very good. Very good. Rey looks up startled. However, she is getting used to this by now. She smiles and gets back to work. She lays the staff on the ground and uses the force to lift it into the air. She floats the kyber crystals towards the hilt, inserting each one in different places. The lightsaber makes a click to suggest it has been completed. She lets go of the lightsaber and it drops to the floor, but before it actually makes contact with the hard surface, she catches it in her hand. Rey stands, and she ignites her new double-bladed lightsaber, each blade possessing a blue colour. Rey stares in awe at the two blades. The ghost of Yoda watches. He closes his eyes and breathes in. Rey looks as the ghost of Yoda disappears. She sheaths her saber and stares off into the distance. Her journey of becoming a Jedi is only just beginning. Interior, the finalizer, corridor, space. By the way, guys, if you're here right now in the script, thank you very much. I've been talking for over an hour at least now. Just thank you very much. You're a true Starspeed fan. Thank you. Interior, the finalizer, corridor, space. Kylo Ren storms down the corridor of the finalizer. He approaches the Knights of Ren. I'm going to find the girl, VIII Ren. Finally, we will slay. No, I will not kill her. She will turn. She will join us. The knight looks at him in shock. What? Why? I sense her potential. She will make a fine apprentice. And then I will take her to the Temple of the Sith, and together we will discover their secrets. But brother, why not take one of us? We are strong with the Force, but not strong enough. I need an apprentice who I can teach as Sith. The knights look around, confused. They have been loyal to Ren, and now they are being discarded. Exterior, Giraffe. Millennium Falcon, mountains, day. The Millennium Falcon, with the Oblivion followed closely behind, roars past the camera and approaches the surface of the planet Giraffe. I know it sounds like giraffe, but it's not. It's not a giraffe. We see that this planet has rarely ever been cleared of its junk. A crashed Imperial AT-AT water is buried under the gravel, followed by crashed X-Wings and TIE fighters. A huge battle has taken place here. The two ships land. Interior, Millennium Falcon, Giraffe, mountains, day. Finn wakes up, startled. He looks around confused. He looks down to see that he has a robotic leg below the knee. He lays his head back down, taking it in. Poe sees him and walks over. You alright? What happened? We got into a bad mess. The TIE shot you out and I had to drag you in. I was a real hero, you know, and you should seriously owe me one. Yeah. Oh well. Can you stand? Does it look like I've tried yet? Well, no, you know. Finn gets up and shakily stands. He leans back onto the wall of the Falcon. Maybe you should just sit this one out. He pats Finn on the shoulder. Finn looks at him as he walks off and tries to continue walking. Exterior, Millennium Falcon, Giraffe, mountains, day. Poe exits the Falcon and Phasma is also taken out in handcuffs. They stand and stare at the relics of the past. an old war. On the sides of the Titanic mountains there are caves. There are mining caves. Well, you didn't lie. This would be a good base. With those mining caves, we could, that's supposed to be we, in case you didn't realise. We could, the finalizer exit hyperspace, and in the planet's atmosphere, although it is just the one destroyer, it is still just devastating. So basically the finalizer is now in the planet's atmosphere, it's just hyperspaced in. Poe continued. She lied, it's a double cross. Phasma smiled. Smiles. The resistance start to run back to the Falcon. They try to take Phasma too, but she's writhing and doing anything to prevent that. The resistance troops obviously just give up and return to the Falcon. Interior, Millennium Falcon, Giraffe, Mountains, Day. The resistance are frantic. They run around the Falcon, all having positions to get to. Poe, what's happening? Phasma lied to us. The First Order is here. Finn, sarcastic. Well, that's a surprise. Poe runs off to speak to Leia. Finn walks over shakily, but is getting the hang of it. Leia, that ship is one of the First Order's lead ships. Whatever you're about to say, no. No? Hear me out. That ship is the finalizer. All captured resistance members are taken there. We can rebuild the resistance from raiding that ship, and I'm sure other people will be willing to join the cause. And how do you know you're going to do it? It's simple. Me and a bunch of resistance members sneak aboard, we steal armour, and help the other prisoners escape. BB-8 can come along too, and he can access secret doors and stuff. Secret doors. Well, you know, he'd just be a big help. Finn has overheard the conversation. I'll come too. No, Finn, you're in no shape for something like this. You can barely walk. I'm getting better at walking, and you don't know the First Order like I do. I used to be one of them. This is true, but I'm coming with you. Poe looks at Leia. She doesn't seem bothered. Leia looks over to Snap Wexley. Snap, tell them to take off. Yes, General. He goes to walk off, but before he does, Leia calls him again. And Snap. Yes, General? Is the Oblivion ready to use? Of course, General. Then we haven't got a second to lose. Fire up the engines. We're getting out of this place. The resistance is now in full swing, with a desperate but sturdy plan. Exterior, eyed, Day. Rey swings her new lightsaber, testing it against rocks and generally training with it. She runs, doing flips, tricks and other exercises. She runs up to a boulder and uses it to backflip off of. Yoda watches from afar, impressed. Rey continues to train until suddenly she stops, her eyes widen. Sense something, do you? I must go. And your training? I will finish it. But not here. But thank you, Master Yoda. My friends are approaching. Great danger. I must help them. Heard that before, I have. Then you must understand that I need to go. Yoda breathes in. A ship there is. Know where to find it, you will. I know where to find it. Then go, Rey. Thank you, Master. Rey runs off. She deactivates her saber and places it on her belt. She runs over to the side of the mountain. A cave is blocked off with rocks. Lifting rocks. She raises her hand and tries to lift the boulders. She fails. Yoda's voice appears in her head. Size matters not. She tries again. To her surprise, the rocks lift up. She floats them towards the ground, away from the entrance of the tunnel. Inside the cave, a small one-man shuttle sits, not moving, and having not moved for centuries. Rey gets in the shuttle. Alright guys, I haven't drunk in ages, so can I have some water right now? Oh my word. Okay. Let's go. So, interior. The Oblivion Day. Poe, Finn, BB-8 and Rose enter the Oblivion. They walk in and get settled. Now remember, the ship is no longer as any defences apart from the front guns. So if we get into any trouble, we're pretty much screwed. So let's avoid trouble, guys, okay? Thanks for the reassurance, Poe. No problem, Rose. Any time. Poe flicks some switches as he sits down in the cockpit. The ship undocks from the Falcon. Exterior, the Oblivion, space. The Oblivion races towards the finalizer as the Millennium Falcon makes the jump to light speed. They dodge the laser bolts that are being hailed in their direction from the Star Destroyer. As the Oblivion approaches, troop transports make their way to the surface of the planet. Exterior, Giraffe, Mountains, Day. Captain Phasma, still in handcuffs, watches the First Order ships land before her. Exiting are dozens of stormtroopers and General Hux. The stormtroopers approach her as she holds out her hands to be set free from the cuffs. Instead of freeing her, stormtroopers turn around and push her to her knees. They aim their blaster at her head. What? General Hux stands and stares at her. He tuts. Captain Phasma, honestly, I thought you'd be more loyal to the First Order. What? How dare you accuse me of treachery? Silence. We know you have cooperated with the Resistance. What is this nonsense? Lying, Phasma? What is this? Let your death be an example to the rest of the First Order. Hux turns around, his back facing her. He walks forwards as the stormtroopers get into position. What? No! Stop! The stormtroopers fire upon their former general. Hux blocks the view of her actual demise. However, we see the body slump to the stone floor. Hux smiles smugly. Exterior, the Oblivion, space. The ship, piloted by Poe, approaches the Star Destroyer. Interior, the Oblivion, space. Finn looks out the window at the monster of a Star Destroyer before him. That is a big ship. Oh yeah? Wait till we raid Snoke's ship. He pauses and looks around. No? Anybody? Rose Tico. Poe, just do the thing. Sure, I'll just get on with it. Slicing their shields now. Poe presses some buttons and the ship lets off a whir. They have sliced a hole in the Star Destroyer's shields. They are practically invisible. The three and BB-8 watch as they attach to the Star Destroyer, not by its hangar bay, but by a small escape exit to access emergency shuttles if the ship was to have its hangar bay under attack. I've got a bad feeling about this. Rose picks up her heavy backpack, filled with explosives, and they all exit the ship via the hole in the top of the ship. BB-8 is last, being lifted up by Finn. Interior, the finalizer, emergency room, space. Finn, Poe and Rose grab the blasters that are hanging out up onto the wall. They walk into a corridor and walk straight into the three troopers, an officer and two troopers. Hi. They look up, startled, but get punched and knocked out before they can open their mouths. Interior, light shuttle, space. Rey flies her shuttle towards the Star Destroyer. An incoming transmission begins. Officer Breen. This is Officer Breen of the First Order. Please state your business with boarding the finalizer. Rey presses a button and turns off the transmission. She approaches the main hangar and crash lands her ship inside. Interior, the finalizer, main hangar, space. As her ship skids across the silky black floors of the hangar, Rey jumps out, flipping midair. She ignites her lightsaber and immediately begins to cut up the approaching stormtroopers. She runs out of the hangar bay and into the corridor. She encounters two stormtroopers walking down the corridor. She waves her hand in front of them while walking past. You didn't see me. Stormtrooper, to the other stormtrooper. Yeah, we didn't see her. Interior, the finalizer, corridor, space. Finn, Rose, Poe and BB-8 walk down the corridors of the finalizer in disguise. Poe in the officer's uniform, Finn and Rose in the troopers' outfits. BB-8 is given some funny looks by troopers, but is still dismissed. The four approach a sealed metal door. This is it, BB-8, do your thing. The droid beeps and starts working on the panel. An officer walks over. Excuse me, what do you think you're doing? Nothing, everything's fine here. Is that so? What is your operating number 2, trooper? Finn replies shakily. Well, it's CT-7567, sir, officer, sir. The officer gives him a look. I think I'd like you to come with me, trooper. Poe turns to face the officer. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. And why is that? Because, I need him. Poe knocks out the officer. Stormtroopers at the end of the corridor spot this. Hey! The troopers open fire on the resistance members. They duck into the doorway and attempt to fire back. BB-8 now or never. BB-8 is right on time. He is right on time. The door slides up and opens, revealing a long corridor of prison cells. They shut the door behind them and in the troopers' faces. Poe raises her blaster and shoots the panel. Through the door, we hear, Quick, get this door open. They're going to free the prisoners. Finn looks at Poe. We gotta move. Fast. They stare. They start to free the... Not stare. They start to free the prisoners. They say their thanks. Finn unlocks one cell and the prisoner asks, "Are you with the Resistance?" Finn pauses. "What? Yeah, I'm with the Resistance and I'm breaking you out. Come on, let's go." The prisoners start to grab anything they can for a weapon. The stormtroopers work on the door and it's beginning to show as they crank it open. Not breaking the door down, because the troopers do not yet realise the seriousness of the situation. They manage to get the door open, only to be bombarded with rogue prisoners. The stormtroopers are knocked out in seconds. Grab their weapons. The rogue troopers grab any weapons they can. Not rogue troopers, rogue prisoners grab any weapons they can. Finn and Poe look out down the corridor to check it's clear. Finn turns back. "Okay, listen. There is a chance what we're about to do may kill you. This is a top destroyer. The alarms have been triggered. The First Order knows that we are here. So anyone willing to take that risk, please step forward." The entire troop steps forward. Then let's do this. Exterior, Ide, mountains, day. General Hux stands, an ominous figure, in the mouth of the mining cave. Through his comlink, he gets spoken to. "General Hux." Hux is startled. "Yes?" "Report back to the finalizer at once. The Resistance are here." Hux is shocked. He turns to look at the Star Destroyer in the sky. He no longer speaks into his comm. "No, no, no, no!" His troops look at him, confused. Stormtrooper. "Sir, would you like us to get me to that ship now?" Interior, the finalizer, space. The Resistance and the prisoners run down the corridors of the finalizer. Every couple of meters, one of them ducks down to place a charge. They continue to run down the corridor until they turn into the Star Destroyer's main engine room. It's a huge area. There are thin walkways spouting from the middle. Everything that powers the ship is here. Come on, let's get to work. The ship is going to blow. The prisoners start to place charges everywhere. From the door opposite the end of the walkway, stormtroopers appear and begin to fire. Poe slips. He is dangling with one hand held onto the very thin walkway, like the one Han Solo was murdered on. The stormtroopers fire at his hand to make him fall, narrowly missing. Poe lifts himself up so his elbows are on the walkway. He fires his blaster pistol at them, knocking most of them off. The prisoners finish off the rest and lift Poe up. They continue to place the charges. Interior, the finalizer, corridor, space. Rey runs down the corridors of the finalizer. She turns into a corridor and there's a lot of corridors here, and walks down it. She sees a strange silver glimmer and ducks down to see one of the charges that the prisoner placed minutes earlier. She stands up and closes her eyes, a second of peace in the constant turmoil. She opens them again, knowing where her friends are and where she has to go. Interior, the finalizer, main engine room, space. Poe, Finn, Rose, BB-8 and the other prisoners are all doing their separate thing, whether that be placing charges, fending off First Order stormtroopers, or trying to help in any other way possible. Poe turns to see Rey entering the room across the walkway. Rey sees him and smiles. "Thought you went for Jedi training." Rey. "Well, I thought you needed a little help, so I..." She looks across the walkway to see Kylo Ren there, staring. "Came." "Poe, you need to get yourself and everyone else out of here." "What? No, we'll fight too." "Poe, it's too dangerous. Get out." "Poe, no." She waves her hand in front of his face. "You will leave the Star Destroyer." Poe knows what's going on. "Rey, please don't do this." "I'm sorry." She closes her eyes. "You will take the Resistance and the prisoners off this ship into safety." "I will take the Resistance and its prisoners off this ship and to safety." Poe breaks out of it for a second, wherever safety is. He quickly, however, falls back into the trance. He gathers his troops, and they begin to exit, until it is only Kylo Ren and Rey. It is the first time they have met since the forest. "I don't want to have to kill you, Rey, but I will. I would like to see you try after the forest. I offered you everything, Rey. I offered you a teacher. I already have one, and they are the most powerful. They are more powerful than you could ever hope to be." "You do?" He uses the Force to see what's going on. "Oh, you do, don't you? A gremlin, more powerful than I could ever dream of. Pathetic." Rey ignites her double-bladed lightsaber and runs at Kylo Ren. He ignites his crossguard lightsaber and they engage in an intense duel. They brutally swing their lightsabers at one another. Kylo Ren accidentally hits a charge with his lightsaber and it explodes. It doesn't cause any damage to him, but it causes another explosion. Interior, the finalizer, corridor, space. A loud shake. Poe, Finn and Rose look behind them. You made sure those charges were secure, right? What? Did you want me to walk around and shake and check every single one of them? Well, no, but come on, we've got to keep walking. What about Rey? She'll be okay. Now come on. Interior, the finalizer, main engine room, space. The thin walkway shakes. They lock lightsabers. I'm going to make you watch as the feeble resistance burns. Then you will join me, Rey, and together we will destroy Snoke. You wish. They break out the lock and Rey swings at him. Another explosion goes off, making sparks fly everywhere as the engines begin to erupt. Exterior, the finalizer, space. The finalizer stops moving. It goes silent. Interior, the finalizer, bridge, space. General Hux storms onto the bridge of the ship. What is happening? Not sure, sir. It seems the Resistance have planted explosives aboard the ship. Where is Ren? Okay. The Knights have left the ship. The Supreme Leader requested their present. We have 20 pages left to go, guys. Okay, so, no. Kylo Ren. Well, I believe he is fending off the Resistance. Hux looks scared. He very quickly walks out of the bridge. Interior, the finalizer, main engine room, space. The two, Jedi and Sith, rage at one another, both using the attack option over the defense. They brutally swing at one another, each slash with a malicious intent. Kylo Ren swings brutally, but before he makes contact, another charge explodes, sending sparks everywhere between him and Rey. Rey swings through the smoke. Nothing. Suddenly, the huge image of Kylo Ren, walks through the smoke and swings at her. He force pushes her back. She falls down. He pulls her saber towards him, deactivating it mid-air. I'll never join you. Oh, so you want me to slaughter you? Like I slaughtered your parents? Rey is horrified and not believing what she is hearing. Oh yes, that's right. Rey half shouts, half cries back at him. No. Kylo smirks. He has caught Rey off guard. Yes. It was the night I betrayed the Jedi. Flash to Jedi Temple, night. The Jedi Temple burns. Kylo Ren, holding a blue lightsaber, watches. Your parents were students, like I was. 2 Jedi students, 1 man, 1 woman, each around 20 years old, stand behind the young Ben Solo. Ben, please. Ben Solo turns. He swings at the 2. They get into an intense duel. They swing at each other until Ben stabs the man straight through the chest. We instantly recognise it as the scene that Rey has seen twice in her Force visions. The man screams. Rey's mother. No! Rey's mother, Jaina, swings at Ben. They clash. Their fighting is like a dance. These are trained Jedi and they are expert duelists. Jaina runs back and does a flip, high over Ben's head. She goes for his saber and cuts it, straight at the neck of the hilt. A gash runs across it, exposing his kyber crystal. It is damaged, and his blade begins to crackle. The lightsaber nearly explodes. Ben deactivates it and force pulls Jaina towards him, taking her saber in his hand, turning around and slashing at her chest. She falls to the floor, a lightsaber gash. Interior, the finalizer, main engine room, day. Kylo Ren stands over Rey still. She is incredibly horrified and sorrowful. You were right. They did promise to come back. I made sure that didn't happen. Rey spits back at him. Murderer. Maybe. That ship, the one you see in your visions. I was on board. It was Luke's ship. Flash to Jakku, day. A young Rey watches as her parents board the ship. They turn, give a fleeting look, then the door slides shut and the ships take off. Interior, the finalizer, main engine room, space. Kylo Ren holds out his hand. Join me, Rey. Rey looks back at him, confused why he would even ask. No. Kylo Ren looks down, almost sad. Then you will face your demise. Kylo Ren raises his hand, and Rey, with an arched back floats. She lets out a slow, agonizing scream, almost if she is possessed. Behind her, the charges explode one by one. Kylo Ren force pulls her towards him. Interior, the finalizer, main hangar bay, space. The resistance and the prisoners run into the hangar. They knock out or blast any stormtroopers. Poe looks back into the corridor to see General Hux running into the hangar. He gets into a shuttle and takes off. Coward. Get in any ship you can. I'll send over the codes to release the attached cable. Finn grabs Poe on the shoulder. What about Rey? Finn, she's a Jedi. She's probably already in an escape pod. Finn looks over to the pod that Rey came in. It's got smoke coming out of it. Reluctantly, he gets into a TIE fighter. In the gunner seat, Poe looks at the ship he is in one last time. He takes out the remote explosive button. It's a shame. I've always wanted to fly one of these things. He pushes it and runs to the TIE fighter that Finn is sitting in. A low rumble comes from deep inside the ship as each charge explodes one by one. The stolen First Order ships escape and exit the destroyer. Interior, the finalizer, corridor space. Some troopers run from the explosion that devour the corridor. Interior, the finalizer, main engine room, space. The main engine room completely erupts as the engines collapse on one another and explode. Interior, the finalizer, corridor, space. 2 First Order stormtroopers stand in the doorway of the main engine room, knowing there is no escape. They stare into the explosions, and a gust of wind throws them against the wall behind them. Interior, blah blah blah. You get the point. Kylo Ren holds an unconscious, from being knocked out using the Force, Rey in his arms, as he steps into an escape pod. He slides the door shut behind him. As the explosions make their way to the corridor, he just came down. The escape pod departs from the ship just in time. Exterior, the finalizer space. The ship's power turns off. The lights in every little window shuts down. Interior, the finalizer, bridge, space. The crew members in the bridge sigh and chatter as their devices shut down like little children who have had their favourite video game turned off. An officer overlooks the rest of the ship from the bridge, unsure and uneasy. Exterior, the finalizer, space. The centre of the shut down ship explodes, completely splitting the Star Destroyer in half. The other 2 halves of the ship continue to explode, making a huge orange glow, not just caused by the detonators, but also caused by everything. Engines, fuel cells, and weapons toppling onto one another one at a time. Interior, the Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. The ship enters hyperspace. Chewie roars as they see where they have ended up. There is a massive First Order fleet of ships. Not as big as outside Dakar, but a dozen Star Destroyers lace the area. Page 6 next to Chewbacca in the cockpit. Looks like we've just gone from one battle to another. Page runs back into the main room of the Falcon. General, we've got to get out of this system. Leia looks up. She senses the sheer mass of the ships. Get the ship out of here. Chewbacca roars from the cockpit. Urgh. Chewie's right. We only have fuel for one short jump. It's too risky. Paige looks out the cockpit at the approaching TIE fighters. I'm getting in the gunner seat. The resistance starts to get into any positions they can to fight back against the oppression. Exterior, Millennium Falcon, space. The TIE fighters race towards the Falcon, opening fire on any part of the ship possible. The Falcon does fire back, but with not nearly enough firepower to destroy the squadron. Interior, Millennium Falcon, gunner seat, space. Paige Tico lowers herself into the seat and grasps her hand around the controls. She begins to fire back at the TIE fighters and destroys a few. Exterior, Millennium Falcon, space. A single TIE fighter breaks off from the main group and aims for the centre of the Falcon. It hits it and blows up the turret. Interior, Millennium Falcon, main room, space. The Falcon shakes as it is hit. Leia looks concerned and worried as it sways. This is their final hope. Interior, Millennium Falcon, gunner seat, space. Paige Tico, who is in the underneath seat, fires continuously at the incoming TIEs. They realise that she is the Falcon's only defence left and begin to fire rapidly back. They disable her turrets, and she gets a shock from it. She screams and rubs her thumbs. Basically, she's been electrocuted by the thing, like in Solo: A Star Wars Story. She crawls out of the seat and climbs the ladder back to the main room. Interior, Millennium Falcon, main room, space. Paige manages to make her way back into the main room of the Falcon. Leia and the rest of the Resistance hold their breaths about what she has to say. I'm so sorry. The turret was our last major line of defence. We are useless now. The First Order will destroy us. Oh my, we're doomed. No. What? No. We are the Resistance. We are the only hope against the First Order. Every day, people use our symbol as a beacon of belief that this war will end, that the oppression of the First Order will someday never return, that we will rise up from the ashes. You're right, General. Normal people will fight. We're their spark that will light the fire that will burn the First Order down. We cannot surrender. Chewie walks in and lets out a gurgle. Leia gives a reassuring smile, a hopeful smile. Suddenly, the ship's lights go off, and the Resistance is plunged into darkness for a brief moment. The lights come back on. Paige Tico walks to the cockpit to see what's happening. Emerging from hyperspace behind the Falcon are a substantially large amount of First Order light fighters. They race towards the Millennium Falcon. Blasters. Weapons primed. Hang on. Just turning pages, guys. Takes forever. Oh no. What? Not good. We're on page 100, by the way, now. Wow. Suddenly, through the speakers in the cockpit, emerges a familiar voice. It is Poe. Why the solemn mood? Paige smiles with joy as the First Order craft, which have been hijacked by the Resistance and the prisoners, begin to fire upon the real First Order craft. The Resistance lets out a cheer as the stolen ships destroy the First Order. Interior, stolen TIE fighters, space. Poe and Finn whoop as they fly past the Falcon. Alright, Finn, you remember how to shoot, yeah? That's a joke, right? Exterior, stolen First Order ships, space. The vacuum of space is instantly lit up with green and red lasers. It is instantly clear that Resistance is winning this battle, as the First Order are completely decimated by the ships they have just exited hyperspace. The TIE that Finn and Poe fly is clearly behind them, as they do incredible spins and tricks as if it is some sort of video game. Their skills are incredible. Interior, stolen TIE fighter, space. Alright, let's destroy as many of these fools as we can, each one has another innocent life saved. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. Chewie sits back down in the cockpit. Paige speaks to Poe. Great to see you, Poe. Is there any way we can help out? Interior, stolen TIE fighter, space. Yeah, try not to get in the way. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. Paige raises her eyebrows. She looks at the now huge space battle commencing just outside the cockpit window. TIE fighters are being destroyed on both sides as they approach each other with full force. Exterior, stolen TIE fighter, stolen First Order fleet, space. A full-scale war rages between the two equal-looking sides. Barely any stolen First Order ships are decimated. Interior, stolen TIE fighter, space. Poe stares ahead at the Star Destroyer. Finn? Yeah? I've got a plan. I don't know if you're going to like it because it's crazy, but it's going to work. Oh, I already don't like the sound of that. Great, this is going to work very well then. Poe flicks some switches to turn on the comm. One of the freed prisoners, Vidar, is on the receiving end. Vidar, I'm going to need some help here. Interior, Vidar stolen TIE fighter. Space. Anything, Poe. What is it? See those Star Destroyers? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Nope, turns out I'm not. Right, I'm going to need you to take out one of their shields for me. Vidar looks at the huge beast of a ship. Exterior, Vidar stolen TIE fighter, space. Vidar flies towards the huge First Order Star Destroyer. On the left, he flies for the shields on the top of the Star Destroyer and fires directly at them. He begins to attract attention of some of the TIEs, and soon they're on his tail. Interior, First Order Star Destroyer, bridge, space. Admiral Oles walks to the window of the bridge. He is enraged by seeing the stolen TIE fighter attack the shields. Destroy that TIE fighter! The camera pans and an officer barks orders at the bridge crew members. Get 4 officers outside now! No, not 4 officers, get 4 fighters outside now! Yes, sir. The camera pans back to Admiral Oles. He is looking up at he looks to the main window of the bridge to see a TIE fighter just meters from the window outside. It is facing backwards to the ship, and the guns are being primed at the bridge. It is Poe and Finn. Interior, stolen TIE fighter, space. Poe talks to Finn. Alright, Finn, blow these guys to hell. Finn gives one hard look at the bridge and fires 2 missiles directly at the glass. Interior, First Order Star Destroyer, bridge, space. Admiral Oles is shocked as the missiles fire point-blank range directly into the ship, completely decimating the bridge of the destroyer. Exterior, First Order Star Destroyer, space. Poe and Finn's stolen TIE fighter flies away from the bridge of the destroyer as it is engulfed in flames. The destroyer powers down. The enemy TIE fighters instantly realise the trouble that they are in and try to return to the other destroyer. Interior, First Order Star Destroyer, bridge, space. The other Star Destroyer's bridge is extremely wild. They have just watched their comrades get completely overpowered within seconds, and they watch as the Star Destroyer falls to the atmosphere of a nearby planet and begins to burn up. Admiral Avar is shocked. She turns to the crew. Call in all the troops and make the jump to hyperspace. Return to the fleet. The TIEs race past the window and approach the bay, desperately trying to flee the battle. Interior, stolen TIE fighter, space. Finn and Poe cheer as the Star Destroyer burns in the atmosphere of a nearby planet. Vidar speaks through the other side of the com. Great shot. What did you need me for if you were going to shoot out the window? A distraction, Vidar. You never let me down. Interior, Vidar stolen TIE fighter, space. Vidar shakes his head. Poe's intentions are beyond him. He again gives a confused look. But we've only just met. Try not to think about it. Vidar laughs. Exterior, stolen First Order fleet, space. The huge Star Destroyer vanishes. Jumping to light speed, it disappears in an instant. A few TIE fighters straggle behind and are destroyed within an instant. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. The Resistance cheer in the background as Paige Tico stares in awe and amazement at the fleet the Resistance has acquired. Poe, you did it! You did it! Interior, Millennium Falcon, main room, space. Leia breathes a sigh of relief. She and the rest of the Resistance have won for now. C-3PO and R2-D2 stand and are relieved of being nervous. She closes her eyes, using the Force to connect between her and those so far away. Flash 2. Escape pod, space. A close-up of Rey's face. She is still in a coma. She has been captured and is in a situation of peril. Interior, Millennium Falcon, main room, space. Leia senses this, but also realises that Rey is not in immediate danger and knows that Rey can hold on. Hold on, Rey. We'll come for you. I promise. Just give us time. Flash 2, escape pod, space. Rey's lips curl to create a slight smile. Even in the deepness of the coma, she knows. Interior, Millennium Falcon, main room, space. Leia opens her eyes, breaking the connection between the two. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. Chewie walks into the cockpit. He sits down and so does Paige. Alright, Chewie, let's get out of here. We need a refuel and a base. Poe speaks through the comm. Actually, I have a plan for both of you. Both of those. You have a plan, of all people. Look, I'm sending you the coordinates now, just trust me, okay? Paige receives the coordinates. She's surprised. Are you sure? What did I say about trust? Paige shakes her head. Okay, making the jump now. She nods at Chewie and they push forward the lever. An incredible flash of blue as they make the jump to light speed. A blue, swirling, peaceful tunnel of light. Paige smiles at Chewie. Exterior, stolen First Order fleet. Space. The dozens of ships jump to light speed, each disappearing in an instant. Poe and Finn's ship is last. Exterior, escape pod. Snoke's ship, main hangar, space. The escape pod that Rey and Kylo Ren are in docks, and the main hangar of the Supreme Leader Snoke's ship. Stormtroopers line up outside the pod as Kylo Ren exits with Rey. She is now awake. The stormtroopers put her in handcuffs. They try to take her lightsaber off Kylo Ren, but he denies. No, I'm keeping this. The stormtroopers back away without saying another word. An eerie silence over the room as they do not want to anger Kylo. They take Rey away as Kylo holds out the lightsaber in his palm, staring at it with wonder and admiration. He looks up as Rey is dragged off in silence. He knows that his path is only truly just beginning. He will never face such a test. Some troopers approach from behind him as the group disperses, wondering what he is doing. Sir? Kylo Ren snaps out of his almost trance. He storms off to the ship without another word. Exterior, Millennium Falcon, Takadana, space. The Millennium Falcon exits hyperspace. The lush green planet of Takodana comes into view. The rest of the stolen First Order fleet closely follows as the ship approaches the planet's surface. Exterior, Takodana, Maz's ruins, day. The ships enter the atmosphere. The camera pans to see Maz. She walks over the ruins of her castle. A temporary camp has been set up as the building is being rebuilt. A few people look into the sky as well. Is that the First Order? Maz smiles, still staring up. No. The First Order and the Falcon and the First Order ships land. Maz walks over as the ramp to the Falcon descends. Poe, Finn, Rose and all the other prisoners exit the ship. Paige and Rose hug as Leia walks over to Maz. A reprogrammed EXD infiltrator droid in its combat mode walks over. It is completely harmless due to the reprogramming. Leia is wary, but Chewie walks up to it and dumps some essential crates into its arms. I thought you would never come back. We nearly didn't. Where's Han? Leia gives a sorrowful look. Maz realises. Oh, Leia, I'm so sorry. Chewbacca runs up and hugs Maz. She laughs as he puts her down. Maz, I'm guessing you've had enough of the First Order as it is. I was wondering if we could set up a base here. Sounds good to me. The evil oppression has lasted too long. Leia smiles as her troops make their way to the rubble of the castle, setting up camp, a temporary place while they build a base. Interior, Snoke's throne room, space. General Hux walks into the throne room. Coward. Snoke lifts a finger and Hux is thrown like a ragdoll immediately. Supreme Leader. Snoke lifts his hand and pinches his fingers, strangling Hux. Silence, you fool! You abandon one of the First Order's finest destroyers, you pathetic excuses. Generals, show the true cowards you are. Fail me again, and your life may be at risk. Hux looks at Snoke, his face red. Yes, Supreme Leader. We only have 3 pages left. What a shock. Snoke releases Hux and lets him drop to the floor. Interior, Takodana, Maz's camp, day. The Resistance and the newfound Resistance members, the prisoners, get to work on their new base. At the moment, it is nothing but poles and tents. Finn walks over to Leia. She wears a stunning white dress, very reminiscent of the dress she wore on the Tantive 4. Leia, what now? What about Rey? Rey is safe. For now. We will gather our strength, Finn. She'll be okay. She is a Jedi. Finn nods. He understands. Finn turns to leave. Leia calls him back. Finn? Finn turns back. Yes, General? The Force is with us. Always. Finn smiles and walks out. Leia walks outside and stares into the distance at the growing Resistance. Finn walks over to Poe, who sets up the beacon they acquired earlier. Leia stands in front of the beacon as it turns on and a smaller version of herself appears. The beacon shoots into the sky, a long blue line of a hologram shooting into the atmosphere. Exterior, Tatooine, moisture farm, evening. A crowd of 3 little children crowd around an astromech droid. The small blue figure of Leia speaks out to them. This is General Leia Organa of the Resistance. Interior, Iagora, Tolu, Mara's workshop, night. Mara, Dax and Sion Biblo sit around as the battle droid produces a hologram of Leia. The oppression of the First Order has ruled for too long. Interior, First Order, Star Destroyer, bridge, space. Admiral Harcourt watches in shock as all the droids in the bridge spit out the hologram of Leia. Where is this transmission coming from? Unknown, sir. They cower in the shadows of the Sith, using that old evil to power their new one. Interior, Bespin, Cloud City, day. Lando Calrissian sits at a polished white desk with his feet up. Protocol droid projects the image of Leia. We'll all be. We must come together, brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers. We must unite. We must strike back. Exterior, Takodana, Maz's ruins, day. Leia still stands, staring at the beacon of hope. We will let the First Order know that this is just the beginning. We will not continue to be pawns under their rule. We are rebels. We rebel. And the Force is with us. Help us stand. You are our only hope. Leia looks to the floor as the beacon shuts down. Poe smiles at her. Leia looks off into the distance at the new Resistance. They are forming as they build a base. Here, the Resistance will grow. They will rise from nothing. The adventure has only really just begun. The Resistance will grow soon enough. This spark of hope will continue to grow. The Force is strong with these freedom fighters, and it always will be. The end. Okay guys, that is the full script. I really hoped you like it. It's my first actual full read-through of it, and lo and behold, it took 2 hours for the full read-through, just like a real Star Wars movie. Yeah. But yeah, if you're gonna like any video on this channel, like this one, please. It took so much effort to bring this to you. Obviously, like Scum when it comes out, you know. But yeah, massive thank you to Alex for editing this. I could not have done it without you. Thank you so much. And yeah, stay in tune for new Starspeed videos. This was a massive video, longest video we've done, 100%. I think the other one, the longest one that we've done is about 20 minutes. So this is a massive step forward for Starspeed. And yeah, I hope you all have a nice day. May the Force be with you. Bye.